right, good morning, everyone. It is April 6th, 5:32 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So I'm still on the West Coast. Cool. Missed yesterday. There wasn't really anything working, not working. There was any news related. So everything was kind of. I think everything is set up for today. Welcome to this the setups for today. Yeah, just things are changing. They've been changing for the beginning of the year. I think for the quarter they're still going to still change. All eyes today at 2 o'clock and or 11 o'clock Pacific time. The Fed minutes come out and anything can change. So we had a few governors speaking yesterday, and they were discussing. Basically, what's up, James? They were discussing Red changes and what's up, Win? What's up, Win? What's up, buddy? They were discussing Fed changes, and there was a lot of news. Basically, it comes down to the inverted yield curve. That's what's happening right now. That's when the short-term yield is you're getting paid higher than the longer-term yield, which is a 10-year. So the 30-year mortgage just broke 5%, which is still fairly low, but I think people are freaking out because of the war, just everything that I mentioned in the Patreon over the weekend. Not to reiterate that. So that's kind of coming to fruition. What I would tell you guys is more likely all eyes, they want to check to see if the Fed is going to, basically they're changing their mind. That's an unknown, right? So if they're changing their mind, that's an unknown. You have Kathy Wood, you have a lot of people coming out. So let's just dive into it and let's see what these statements and how the market's reacting to it. Just reacting very negatively. I gave the Patreon levels yesterday. Some guys I've been talking to over the last couple of days are doing extremely well with that. Just trade them to the levels, and that's a way that you can, again, it's just levels are just about order flow, and you can use the 50 as well to kind of give you an extra little confidence that it is going. They kind of seem to match really well. The 50-day moving average system is basically like the beginning grounds to order flow. So just watch that. But let's dive into it. Let me see if I can add this to the stream. I'm going to get myself off, and let's see if we can just... let me see what's going on here. Something happened here. All right. Let's see if this works. Okay, so let's just go to it. Right now, the S&P 500 is, looks like it probably wants to come back down to the retest. E-minis right now are at 47.78. I am a little delayed, but I'm just going to give you a ballpark of where we're probably going to open up. We're going to open up right around 40. We're 44.78, right? So around 44, right in here. So right where the 200-day moving average is, so that's going to be a pretty significant level. If we break that, and at 11 o'clock, if we do break that, or 2 o'clock, we can probably head down to there, right? So we are going to open below. So last night in the Patreon group, I gave you 3 scenarios. This was for after the FOMC meeting, but we're breaking below. So we broke below 4,500. Is 4,400 going to hold? And just remember, we could drop here on the daily level, and that would be the test of the breakout. So this would be the breakout. It comes back and retests to 50. That is a possibility, and let's see what happens there. Okay, MACDs are coming to the end. If this crosses, it's probably going to cross the 50, and there's a chance that more than likely we could come back down and retest these levels. That's available. So know that. The NASDAQ, with interest rates being higher, the The NASDAQ, same thing, cannot break the 200-day moving average and is rolling over. MACDs are coming close to the end, not quite there. Can it come back and retest the 50-day breakout, which is there, right? If it crosses over zero, more likely it's going to come back to retest there. Don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm just giving you what is possible depending on the news that comes out. Okay. Russell, much weaker. Russell, like I said, was having a hard time breaking above the 38% retracement here. We're still below that and the 22nd. And again, broke the 50, coming back to retest the 50. If it breaks this, is coming back down here. This is on the daily. If you're going to trade this time frame, buy yourself more time. That is a possibility. As far as the VIX climbed yesterday. So I'm just going to tell you, fear is entering into the marketplace yesterday. Again, this is why you put your alerts there. We we're about 2 days below 20, which is nice to have that. We stayed right in this range, actually almost 4 days, right? Actually, a little longer than that. Maybe we're below 20, probably. Yeah, roughly 1, 2, someday here. Flirted here. So again, nice little basing pattern, and fear is entering into the marketplace ahead of the Fed. If we start breaking these levels, guys, then more than likely we're probably going to go a little bit lower. Again, the 10-year note is at 2.6, and this is what I'm talking about, that the 2 years higher than the 10-year. That's a problem. That's an inversion. And usually we don't see a decline right away, but later on it could signal that we are going to be in for a recession. So again, and I think with high yield curves, I'm starting to notice the effects here in LA. Going out to dinner, the most popular place, like we went to Fogo de Chao for a birthday dinner, and it was a quarter empty. I mean, it was a quarter full. So I'm noticing. So I'm going to share with you. I'm noticing flight to safety in a lot of big names, and we're going to cover that. Let me see if we got any questions here. Okay, cool. Let's go into the big names here. So right off the bat, if we notice, everything's breaking down from the 50, 50, 50, 50. Watch Google early. I think Google can probably run for 2,700. I'm guessing. Amazon too. They're taking down the big tech. Tesla was holding pretty strong. Couldn't hold at 1,100. But I did see that there's names like Tesla and Apple that are a little bit stronger, and I'll share that with you. CMG. But everything looks pretty weak. Affirm, Upstart. A lot of people are talking about Affirm and Upstart, saying that, if they tighten up on credit cards, maybe these are the companies that people will go to. I don't really subscribe to that. At the end of the day, if people are defaulting, yes, they can probably go here. But when you go to Affirm and Upstart, you're paying a higher interest rate for a fixed loan. It's a private loan. That's how the company works. And if you're having trouble paying your credit card, eventually that's a mindset. That's a you're going to have trouble paying Affirm and Upstart. So don't really buy into Affirm and Upstart as a flight to safety. I don't think that's going to work out. I'm thinking eventually, as we peak, if we go into recession and start peaking, going the opposite direction, maybe. But again, we start seeing some, it looks like it wants to continue lower, but they're taking it down. So they're taking pretty much everything. You can see the squeezes happening yesterday. And again, as far as the spiders, yesterday we had the entry, guys, and this is what I mean. We had a squeeze here at 10 o'clock, which is 10 o'clock, about half an hour after the market opened, and we had it here. So again, don't be fooled if you're long and you see the setups occurring. Hopefully by now you understand that they work. They're awesome. They'll keep you out of trouble. And we saw the breakdown in the MACDs telling us that momentum was dying off. And I know a lot of you took this trade. Some of you took the trade off the levels the day before and had done extremely well. At this moment of time, I don't see this is a continuation, an extreme sell-off, secondary sell-off. It's setting up here. If there's fear entering into the marketplace, this could be a panic sell here. So we're going to be watching these levels carefully. But right now, as far as setting up the trade, let us set up. Let's see if we can come back up a little bit, maybe around the 450, and then maybe set up a continuation. This is still going lower on the hourlies, but even though this might come up, on the hourlies, this might come up a little bit, maybe sideways, but this could be an exhaustion sell-off. So if this comes up and that sells off, this will be the exhaustion sell-off here, and maybe it could go down to the levels that I mentioned. As far as the levels that I mentioned yesterday, a couple of scenarios here. For my Patreon guys, you have this. So print it out, keep it in front of your computer, or put it on the screen. But there's about 3 scenarios here. Scenario 1 is any rallies after the FOMC meeting, right? Any rallies into 456, 458. If we start going into this area here, and I'm gonna just kind of go a little wider. If we start going into 456, 458, right in here, it might get sold off. So we rally up, it might get sold off. So, and then if it does get sold off, it's probably going to go to 450, which we already broke. But there's a possibility it might happen after the FOMC meeting, depending on where we're at. If we manage to get below, to open above 45.80, which is here, 458, then more than likely we can probably hit 461, which puts us right in here. Now, granted, this is the SPY, so 1 point is 10 points on XPX. I'm doing these levels on the E-minis, which is very similar to the XPX. All right. So those are the moves I have for today. We broke 4,500. So that's taken out. So 440 is in play right now, which is right there. Okay, so 440 is in play. Now, the question is, are the bulls going to come here at 440, or are they going to take it down in a panic sell? That's what we're going to be watching the top 5 indicators and see if that's available. So if your inputs, if you're going to trade them to the levels, maybe sell them at 440 and see, get your calls and your puts ready and play with profits at that level. But right now, the entry as far as this system was yesterday. We could continue into another sell-off, and we will see. But again, things are going to change. I don't expect things are going to move. Maybe Google will move at the open. Let me see if I can see that. Let me see if I can go into Tesla. Again, just, like there's some sharp rallies here, but it's being sold off at 1100. But it's hanging strong. It's hanging strong. I think Tesla's a flight to safety. What I see here is probably going to rally into, that's 1084. It's going to try to rally. Bulls are coming in pretty strong here, but they sold it off. Let's see what happens. As far as the hourly is holding pretty strong here. So, but if it takes this out, more likely it's going to go down to 1,000. So watch it there. Twitter overnight was moving, guys. So that's another flight to safety I'm noticing. Twitter now selling off pretty hard. Having a hard time above this $55. Again, Elon bought this company. Everything Elon touches turns to gold. So again, let's see how it reacts around 47. This might be an opportunity if the stock market comes down to maybe add to this. because as the market reverses, starts going up a little higher, not just going to go to all-time highs, but again, you're going to be trading with the current. So, the current's going to be up and down. Even if the market's declining, it's still going to go up and down, especially if we're trading, day trading, right? So just know that. Let me look at Apple real quick. Apple stock, and I'm going to show you Apple from a perspective, just to show you how strong it is. This is the daily perspective. It's still holding pretty strong. It's at 180. 180 makes it a $4 trillion market cap stock. So this tells me that they're now selling Apple, despite the inverted yield curve. This is a flight to safety, okay? And if I share this on Tesla, I'm noticing this on Tesla as well. So there are certain companies that are doing well. This is the daily over here on Tesla. As you can tell, not that much of a sell-off, not that much of a sell-off compared to the chips. If I put NVIDIA here, you're going to see that there is a pretty drastic sell-off here. And, just hit. And, so, and what I mean by that, Tesla and Apple went sideways. This is going down. It's going down to retest. So just keep in mind and note which other companies that are being sold off. And remember, as long as this war in Ukraine keeps going, that, this neon effect, another month passes by. Now they have, 10 months supply, and then they have 9 months supply, 8 months supply. Investors are looking at that. So again, we have Disney, one of these stocks that, just not even squeezing, selling off pretty nice. Tried to rally, sold off again, all bouncing off the 50. But I wanted to look at Google because I think this one has the potential to move. Again, Google not selling off as well, holding pretty strong. But can they take Google? Google right now is going to open. It's at 27.62, guys. So again, interest was yesterday. It looks like it probably open up lower. Let's see what happens at the open. But Google looks like it can probably go to 2,700. Yesterday, these puts were worth about $3. They're probably going to open around 8. And if this goes down, it could probably be 20. That doesn't mean to get into these trades. Remember, just ideally, let's see how it react. Let's see if it could come back up here and reset the trade and you want to get a good price. We use a 1 minute to not overpay for options. But again, the setup was yesterday. Let's look at Amazon. Again, setup was yesterday. Amazon trying to rally pre-market. So let's see, it could probably go up to 32.60, 32.50, somewhere in there. Coming to the end here. If it can come up, there's a gap to fill here. 32.80, right in there. And then maybe if it bounces lower, that could be the exhaustion sell-off right here. And you can ride it for another 30, 40 points maybe. But again, just kind of, I think everything's going to be waiting on the Fed. Let's see how Bitcoin's reacting to this news as well. Bitcoin selling off a little bit. Maybe coming back down, maybe broke the 50, come back to retest. Maybe let's see how it reacts there. Good time to add. MACDs are losing weakness here. Tell me that this run is over. And let's see if it can reset again right in here. MicroStrategy probably going to come down, and Ethereum, same type of thing. So once again, spiders are working out for us really well. Let's look at the QQQs. QQQs, again, sold off. Hourlies still continue to sell off. You had the entry yesterday here on the Qs, guys. That's textbook. That's gravy right there. So again, these are the plays where you sit back on us, wait on your hands and wait. And when they show up, you take advantage of them. So again, guys, I'm getting the text from you guys. I know some of you guys made 7,000, 3,000, 4,000 on these plays. This is why it's essential just to sit on your hands and wait and just trade what the market gives you. That's all we have right now. Let me see if I can remove that. So that's it, guys. go out there, go get it. Let's not get too heady, you know. Um, what time is it? 5:52. If you notice, I'm cutting just a little short just because there's not really much here yet. Just wait. Wait for the setups. Manage the positions you're in right now. You don't need to add new positions if you already have something that's working out. But the put position are doing well. Come to lunch. Lunchtime's gonna be 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. But the Fed comes out at 2 o'clock, and the Fed minutes are gonna come in. There'll be an amazing opportunity to trade that. So again, play the system, the 50-day moving average. Use the 1 minute. Use the 15-minute. They will show you a breaking point when all the moving averages break through. Put your calls and your puts on your screen. Ride that. Play that. It's a playable. We know the market is going to move. It's going to move today at 2 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. 11 o'clock if you're on the West Coast. It's going to move. So before that move is not going to be real. It's not going to last long. So if it does move anywhere before that, know that nobody really knows what type of membership is going to be out there. You're going to see a very volatile session, and we'll see. Do you think 50 hike price is priced in already? No. The 50 it is, but it's not. It's not about that. A lot of the governors, it's the inverted yield curve. We know something needs to be done, and inflation is hot. So I rode Uber yesterday, to give you an example, and I talked to many different people just to find out what their economy is, what's their experience. And really interesting. I'm not debating. I just want to hear. But some people don't know that the 30-year has broken 5%. And eventually that is going to hurt the real estate market. It hurts it slower. It doesn't hurt it fast as the stock market. Much slower. So spending is slowing down when money gets more expensive, if we enter a recession. So I think that the Fed is just trying to experience a soft landing. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So don't get greedy. Just chill. Like I said, just trade the market you have. All right. Go out there, go get it, guys. There isn't really much to this. If you guys want to join there's some of you out there later on, if you're watching it, press like, subscribe. If you want to join the Patreon group, or you want to access to the levels, I give them out about 4 or 5 days a week. You have them. Just extra support so you guys can understand order flow and make some money. And just, again, trade the markets. Take what the market gives you. Don't fall in love with a position. And then, we can always reset and trade another day. This is how you trade these markets. It's a very different than a bull market. You can do it. It's just a different mindset. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready. And go out there, go get it. Press like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, take care.